Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm John Gray, and this is Just Plain Living.
Good morning. I'm Peggy Burton.
And I'm Jim Fuller.
It's good to see you guys.
You too.
I haven't seen you in a week.
All right,
That's
Jimmy,
right.
you ask her. We want to see if she knows.
Do you know who won the Super Bowl?
Patriots.
Oh, good. That's very good.
And their quarterback, Tom Brady, big
All right.
hero today. It was
She may
great.
be getting better at the sports thing. You know, we don't talk.
We're leaving her no choice.
Yeah, I know. And we don't talk a lot about sports when
Oh, that's all right.
Peggy's on with us. But,
I just phase out and have get my life together while y'all are talking sports.
Yeah, she's researching something else while we're talking about
That's right.
that.
And you know what, Peggy? That's okay because obviously I don't know just a whole lot about the arts either. You know, now John, being the primary host, has to know everything.
He has to know
So he
everything.
does
Renaissance man.
That's right. That's right.
There you go.
That's why 5 years ago I decided John needed to be the primary host on this show because
He's got all the info.
yeah, exactly.
Got to know the dirt
That's right.
and the good. Got to know about the clouds and
Got
the
to
sun.
know what's
both.
happening. Speaking of clouds and sun, I mean, it's like summer here.
Yeah, maybe we're going to have a little rain this week. I think there's some pretty heavy clouds coming through today.
Yeah, especially today. This is Tuesday, by the way. So
Yes, it is. It's Tuesday.
yeah.
Tuesday morning when we do this, record this, and but yeah, I mean it's all right with me if it just goes right on into spring.
I
Wouldn't
think
bother me
so.
a bit.
Well, buttercups are coming up. Everything's getting ready to bloom.
Except for one thing. I don't know that we've had cold enough weather to kill a lot of the bugs that if
The fleas and the ticks.
If it never gets real cold, we'll go into spring and they'll be feasting on us.
I know.
They'll be
I've already
everywhere.
seen these little old ladybugs, that creep in through the windows. Do you know what I'm talking about? Do you get those?
Oh, yes. I was building a house in Nolensville several years ago up on a hill, and it was done in white, sort of a cream-colored stone-looking brick. And when the sun would hit that house in the afternoon, it would look like it was pink.
Because they come
There would
crawling
be
out.
so many ladybugs on the face of that house in that sun that it looked pink.
oh goodness.
And they like that sunshine. And I had one in my bathroom for about a year. She came in and she was
one?
crawling around. Yeah, and I have a couple of plants in there, and I have some tree limbs, some decorative kind of looking vine in there. And she lived in all of that stuff. And I'd get her over by the window. Sometimes she'd be in the sink, and I'd get her to crawl up on my finger, and I'd put her
for
back
heaven's
on.
sakes.
And then one day I came in there, and she was
Just
on the
laid up.
windowsill, rolled over, and I thought, well, it's been a pretty good run.
Yeah.
I talk to her every
Absolutely.
morning.
How big was that ladybug?
Oh, she's just like all the rest of them. I mean, they
Well-
really don't get big.
The ones I'm thinking about are just tiny little things, and they come in by the billions sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
They don't hit my main house because the windows have all been replaced, but out in the sunroom, that's where they want to be.
Well, they like this. They like the warmth. And
I
that's
thought
what
you
they
were
come
getting
to.
ready to say they have a tendency to hit the servant's house.
Oh, yeah,
Since
right.
they don't come into the main house.
Yeah, well, they do hit the servant's house. I'm the
okay.
servant.
Oh, okay. All right.
I love it. I love it.
That'll be the day. Wouldn't it be nice to have servants? Nah.
Nah. That'd be somebody else you'd have to put up with.
Have to pay. Yeah.
Have to pay.
Yeah.
Nah. I like doing stuff the way I want to do it. I don't like depending on somebody to do my stuff.
Does anybody ever do your stuff? What is your stuff?
I mean, if I'm gonna wash dishes, I want to wash dishes, and I've got a way I wash them and get out of my way.
I didn't
If I'm
mind.
gonna cook,
I used to not mind that
I got
as
a
a
way
child.
I cook. Fran and I can't be in the kitchen together.
Oh, really?
No.
What sort of thing do you love to cook?
I like all kinds of stuff. I like making salads, and I like making. My mom was raised in Dixon County, and she raised on a farm, and she taught me how to cook farm cooking. And my dad was raised in South Louisiana, so Granny Gray taught
you
me how
can
to
do all
cook
that
Cajun
Cajun
cooking.
stuff? That's
so I know
great.
how to make roux and étouffée and.
What makes it étouffée? Is it the spices?
It's the spices, and it's the consistency of it as well. A gumbo is, étouffée is sort of like a gumbo without the liquid in it.
Oh, really? It's everything
it's
you got in the
rice,
kitchen
it's
piled
rice,
together?
It's rice. Well, it's rice
Sort of.
and it's sausages and
Do you cook,
and seafoods and.
Not at all.
Not at all. Don't even mention it, right?
I was just thinking as John said that, back when I was younger and didn't know any better, a guy that used to drive the Smotherman, I worked in a service station, a guy that used to drive the Smotherman Walmart truck.
Yeah.
You remember Smotherman Walmart? And we cleaned up the trucks for them at the service station, and one day I was cleaning up the truck and he had a case of soup left from his delivery. He gave me that case of soup. Well, you know, I have at that time in my life I had a tendency to stay out pretty late at night and do crazy stuff. But I can remember coming home
And eating soup?
raw. I mean, out of the
Oh, no.
can. How crazy was that? You know, I
Well, when
don't think
you're
I knew
hungry,
about
yeah, when you're
botulism at that.
When you're hungry, you're hungry.
Yeah.
No, you don't have to worry about botulism. If it's stated, if whatever they put in it to keep it in that can for 20 years kills everything that's in that can. You don't have to worry about that. Speaking about eating, though, and this turned out differently than I thought it would. I woke up the other morning, and I pay attention to, in the mornings, I have for years, but more so now, into that little piece of time between sleep and when you wake. There's that magic zone right there where ideas come and things are bright colored and weird stuff happens.
So what have you been smoking?
And so, well, I have not in a while. Maybe it's residual. But this name came to my mind.
And what was
Mary
that?
Pope.
Mary Pope.
Mary Pope.
Where have I heard that name?
You probably hadn't.
Oh, okay.
And I spelled it Merry. And I thought, well, what am I going to do? And I said, well, I need to write something about Mary Pope.
So you have written a Mary Pope?
Mary Pope.
Let's go back to the question you asked. What has he been smoking?
Right.
Mary Pope on church.
Mary Jane.
Mary
they call
Pope.
her Mary Jane, John.
It don't work.
Okay.
Mary Jane doesn't work.
Okay.
Okay, we got it.
Mary Pope on Church Road, riding on a goat, searching for redemption. Her heart was filled with hope. She'd not done that much wrong, but still she plodded along. The church door locked. With nothing to do, she picnicked on goat barbecue.
You're just making me crazy.
Let's go back to the original question.
Yeah.
What has he been smoking?
She wasn't that good if she killed her goat and ate it.
That's right.
She needed redemption.
Speaking of barbecue, did
Yeah.
you not love that Boston Butts we sold?
I love Boston
that
butts.
That was good
I like
stuff.
Tennessee butts. I like all butts, but that Boston butt was good.
That was really good. We have Monty Hatcher to thank for that.
Yes, and that was a
we
fundraiser
really
for South
appreciate
Jackson
it, yeah.
Civic Center. And Monty's a really good guy. You
Yes,
know,
he is.
does that a lot for a lot of different people and does fundraisers. So if you're looking for a butt, call Monty Hatcher and he'll cook as many of them up as you want, and it makes a great fundraiser for your organization.
Well, he may not want to do that every day of the
Well,
week.
you have to check his schedule and
Yeah.
all that, but he
very
does
gracious.
a good job.
And it was
gracious
very
man.
good. I don't know that I've ever personally taken apart a Boston butt. So I have my daughter has a bunch of happy dogs because there's some good stuff left over after you
Oh yeah.
tear it apart.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And the bone's wonderful.
Do you eat the bone?
No, but that bone comes pretty slick, and
gnaw
a dog
gnaws on it,
loves
yeah.
that bone. It's a big old bone, not round, but it's kind of like a clavicle, and
Yeah.
it's a big old bone. Dogs will love those bones.
Well, good.
So we have gone from
Football.
Mary Pope.
We
to
didn't do football injustice.
I know. Y'all go ahead and
what was your
do
thoughts
football.
about the game? Were you surprised?
My
with the
thoughts
outcome?
about the game, no, I wasn't surprised. As I said earlier, I was kind of hoping the Falcons would win because in looking at the statistics, I think Boston has something like 60 some odd world championships between football, baseball, and basketball, and Atlanta has one. The Braves won one time.
That's
it.
They only had one.
One.
Well, we don't.
And so they were looking for a championship, but I figured if Tom Brady and Bill Belichick wins, that means arrogant Mr. Roger Goodell is going to have to give them that trophy.
Yeah.
And he did.
And he did, but he wasn't up there long.
They got through that. No, he wasn't.
He wasn't up there long.
But the kind of money Roger Goodell makes, which is what, 70, 80 million.
No, it's more than that. I think it's over 100 million.
You know, I could
just-
probably deal with that.
I
you
know, I just can't wrap my head around
You know,
it.
it appeared to me though that Atlanta fell into that same trap that so many times football teams do, and they get a big lead and they start trying to protect that lead rather than play like they played the entire game. And
I don't know that you can blame a lot of that on them. I think you're going to have to blame the defense of the Patriots.
I'm not
for that
taking anything
stuff.
at all
Yeah.
away from the Patriots. And again, you have to think that with Tom Brady as your quarterback, you always got a shot at it.
Oh yeah,
Sure you
You always
have.
got
yeah.
a shot to come back.
I think what probably the biggest thing in that game was probably the second worst call ever in football. The first one being a couple of years ago in the Super Bowl when Seattle was on the 1 yard line and threw a pass instead of giving the ball to beast mode and lost that ball game. The fact that they were inside the 30-yard line and all they needed was a field goal to make this game untouchable.
Right.
And they could have handed the ball to a running back twice, and they ended up going back for a pass, getting sacked, and then got a holding call and put them out of field goal range. That's what lost the ball game.
I agree. Because you wonder what they were thinking when they, at that
What
point.
were they smoking?
Yeah, what were they smoking? You know, because there wasn't enough time.
There
Really
wasn't enough time to score twice.
To score twice, and I don't know. It's
People make
hard
strange
it's hard to
decisions
figure
at
that,
times.
you know.
Yeah, oh yeah,
You know,
and
when you're
it's
just
a
making
big.
a
That's a big
spur-of-the-moment decision.
And Matt Ryan. People said, "Oh, it's Matt Ryan." He had a 98% completion.
Yeah,
You know, he didn't do anything wrong.
right.
He threw passes and they were completed. It's just the defense just didn't let them get anywhere. It was a great testimony.
You know, in talking about the last of the game and the play the calls you were talking about, can you imagine if you had $100,000 bet on that game, how frustrated you were at that point? You know,
There's a lot of money that changes hands
sure.
during that Super Bowl.
Heavens, yes.
I mean, just to
Heaven,
get
yes.
a ticket, what's it
but
cost?
the one thing, no matter what, if you weren't entertained by Lady Gaga,
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
you don't know entertainment.
I was pleased with her performance. It was
That was pure
very
entertainment.
artistic as well as she's a gymnast. All of a sudden, I mean,
Well,
she was
and
amazing.
she's not
yeah.
pantomiming during this. She's actually has a live microphone singing while she's flipping through the air after diving off a 100-foot tower.
I know, it's amazing to me.
And it was just outstanding.
I don't see me being able to sing doing that because I have this tremendous fear of heights. So,
Me too.
You know,
Well, she was turning flips
I
and
know,
holding her
unbelievable.
legs in certain positions and stuff, just like an acrobat.
even when she was playing the piano, she was on some pedestal up there that was about 25 feet
Yeah,
high.
yeah.
Yeah, just suspended almost.
Yeah, I'm hoping she was still hooked up to those safety
I would assume.
ropes at that point because you fall off of that thing, you're.
What blew my mind is somebody on Twitter decided she was overweight, that her belly was flabby, and I thought, oh my gosh, what I wouldn't give to have that flabby belly that Gaga has.
Yeah, really. I mean,
She's beautiful. Yeah.
You know, and people say, "Oh, that's horrible." Well, you know, if you're 70 and 80 years old, you might not like it, but there was 100 million people watching that.
Oh, sure.
And the mean age of it was probably 40 years old, and I guarantee you they liked it.
Yeah, and besides that, I've worked with John for many, many years in entertainment kind of situations and happened to realize that John has an appreciation of women that goes beyond whether they're pencil thin or, you know, he prefers, you know, little
all types.
women.
Well,
that-
she was
yeah.
she didn't have
is
she didn't have a
beautiful.
6-pack. But there was not a thing in the world wrong. You get up there and dance. There ain't no way to be fat and do what she did.
Oh, no.
No way. It's impossible.
Actually, she is just has a wonderful voice. She has a talent that's extremely good.
She does,
Yeah.
and she does all kinds of music,
She
obviously.
does.
I mean, it
She's
just
everything
doesn't
from
matter.
big band to
Yeah.
pop to you name
Well, a
it.
testimony to that is you saw who introduced her, Tony Bennett.
Tony Bennett.
Who she did a jazz album with, and he was more complimentary of her and her knowledge of jazz and her ability to sing jazz.
I think she has been trained in opera also.
Yeah, so congratulations to Gaga. I'm goo-goo for Gaga. If you'll hang around, folks, it gets better than this, I promise. I do promise. Don't go hunting for Mary Pope, because she's down the road. We'll be back after these commercial breaks.
Dr. Credit here from Russell Barnett Kia. Are you needing a vehicle but don't think it's possible because of your current credit situation? Great news, it is possible. But don't just take it from me. Here's a few of our satisfied customers and what they had to say.
Not only did they take the time to get to know me and my wants, they found me someone to finance me with my bad credit and got me the car of my dreams.
Dr. Credit, come see him. He's great. He can help you. I know he can. He helped me.
Schedule your appointment with Dr. Credit at Russell Barnett Kia so you can drive away happy.
All I have to do is think about what I was physically before and what I am now, and I don't ever want to go back to that original situation.
The overall mission of the rehab team is always what is best for the patient and how we can facilitate maximum potential from every resident.
Well, the most important thing to me is that I'm allowed to do whatever I want to do,
Everyday Miracles, Life Care Center of Tullahoma.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're pleased to have joining us on the set now from the city of Tullahoma. To my left, of course, is Jody Boss, the city administrator. Is that your official title?
That's correct.
Oh, okay. All right. The city administrator of the city of Tullahoma, and Lyle Russell, who is with the Tullahoma Recreation Department. And they're here today to talk about, I think, a new program that you got coming up. And is it just February or over the next few months?
No, sir. It's something we do every month.
Every month, okay.
Third Friday of every month, we do a program called Lunch and Learn. Mm-hmm. And Mr. Baltz is doing our February program in honor of Black History Month. But each month on the third Friday, we do some sort of topic that's of public interest or educational type, along with a lunch at the D.W. Wilson Community Center. And we invite all the public to come and join us.
Okay. And that's a pretty cool thing, because I know that Jody will be talking about what he's doing this month. It was something that I certainly didn't know about, but a lot of the topics and the speakers that you have there are pretty interesting things, and to carry through this theme about lunch and learn, because you're probably going to learn something. How long have you guys been doing that?
Our first one was this last November. We tried it as a pilot program. Mm-hmm. Dr. Bradley did our first one. Then Mayor Curley did one for us. Then we just had one with another gentleman who did the history of beer and brewing. And then the one coming up is, like I said, it's about Black History Month with Mr. Baltz.
And how does one get to attend this? You have to make reservations?
Really easy. All you have to do is stop by D.W. Wilson and let them know that you want to come to the event, and they'll book you in and do your RSVP right then and there.
Okay. Best I remember, too, the cost of this is pretty reasonable, isn't it?
It is. It's $875 to attend, and that includes the lunch.
Yeah. Okay. All right. And appropriately, Jody, your topic this month is Black History Month.
The topic for my program will be the history of the 13th United States Colored Infantry. Mm-hmm. And that regiment is unique in that it was formed in the summer of 1863, and in effect, Estill Springs is really the birthplace of Tennessee's African American fighting man. There were two regiments that were formed at Estill. the 12th United States Colored Infantry and the 13th United States Colored Infantry. And the 13th Regiment is the regiment that I'll be focusing on the program. You know, during the summer of 1863, after the Tullahoma campaign, there was a concerted push to form African American regiments in the Tennessee area under the Army of the Cumberland. And so when as they were doing the recruiting, the men were sent to Estill Springs. They basically occupied part of the old Camp Harris site, which is just on the south side of Elk River, but their first job was to help in the construction or the reconstruction of the Elk River Bridge. And if you go down towards Estill on the highway, if you look to your left, that's basically where the railroad is today, is where the bridge was that was being reconstructed. And so these troops helped the Michigan engineers in reconstructing that bridge. So they were doing a combination of learning to become soldiers as well as providing manual labor. So they spent the better part, pretty much all summer of 63, working on that bridge. But the regiment had a distinguished service throughout the rest of the war. After they finished that work there was a need for troops to help construct the Nashville and Northwestern Railroad. And this railroad basically was projected to run from Nashville all the way westerly to the Tennessee River. In 1863, the railroad had only gone from about Nashville to Kingston Springs, and so the Union forces wanted to go ahead and extend that all the way to the river, because what would happen is, from time to time, the Cumberland River would get so low they couldn't ship supplies by river to Nashville, and the Confederate cavalry had destroyed one of the tunnels for the L&N Railroad north of Nashville. So they wanted to have a reliable way to keep Nashville in supply, because through Nashville was how Sherman was being supplied in his Atlanta campaign.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so this was very important, and so these troops spent the winter of '63 and the spring of '64 working on the railroad. And that railroad was completed in May of 1864. After they completed that work there, they were posted along the railroad to help guard it, because that was a railroad that was isolated, subject to Confederate raids and so forth. And so they wanted to keep it in operation, not let guerrillas and Confederate cavalry or bushwhackers destroy the railroad.
Right.
But it eventually was completed all the way to Johnsonville, and then the regiment was moved to Waverly, and they were posted there, and they guarded a long segment of the railroad line there. While they were at Waverly, Forrest attacked Johnsonville in one of his more famous raids, and even though he never crossed to the east side of the Tennessee River, the Union post commander at that time got pretty skittish and thought he decided to burn the supply. So Forrest basically won a victory without even having to cross the river.
Yeah.
But the African American troops that served in the regiment performed well in that battle. Their company fought there. At least one company fought there. But then when Hood started his Nashville campaign in the fall of 1864, this regiment was recalled to Nashville. And this regiment fought at Nashville and suffered the highest casualty rate of any regiment during the Battle of Nashville. And the Battle of Nashville is important from the standpoint that it was one of the few battles of the Civil War in which a high percentage of African American troops fought actually in combat against the Confederate forces. So basically, the program will cover all of the the different aspects of how they were recruited, how they were officered, and so it's just important. It's a little known piece of history for our area, but when you look at the role that they played during the war, it's just amazing that the birthplace was right here, right down the road from Tullahoma.
Unbelievable. You do a lot of this kind of thing. You obviously have a big interest in history kind of things, do you not?
Oh yes, I've always enjoyed studying and writing about the military history, mainly because it's a hobby I can do when it's dark. Because I'm usually tied up during the days. And,
right.
You know, if I have a board meeting that runs late, I can go home and I can write.
Yeah.
So or get up early in the morning. So you know, it works out well.
And it's usually military kind of things.
Yes, usually military history. That's I've written a few books and articles, and so that's what I've always enjoyed doing.
Okay, outstanding. This is going to be very interesting. I don't believe we told them when it was, the date, though.
It's February 17th, and it starts at 11:45.
Okay, all right. So if you want to learn more about this topic, stop by there, learn from the expert here, and I'm sure you're going to enjoy it. Again, it's $8 and something.
$8.75.
$8.75, yes, and the information that Jody will provide is free. Right.
That's right.
Okay. All right. Folks, thank you so much for coming by today. I appreciate it. It's going to be a really interesting day there. Lunch and Learn at D.W. Wilson, yes, sir, Community Center in Tullahoma. Folks, we'll be right back in just a moment with more Living.
Oh, hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is the paint. Uh-oh. I just knocked a tree over. This is the paint doctor. I got the color wheel. Now, you know what a color wheel is? It is the wheel at the paint works where you pick all your colors to paint your room. It could be a multicolored beard. It could be a underarm fan. You never can tell. One thing we do know is that it's time to paint. You know, you can make your wife very happy if you go to your house and paint some rooms, or you paint the outside of the house, the inside of the house. It makes them feel very good because you work hard for them and they like that. All women like to see their man sweat. You know, they do. Honeydew is what they do. And you get to do it too. So you go to the paint works at 1960 North Washington Street and you see David Heikkinen over there, and he's the real paint doctor. He fix you up with color. It's so nice when the color is right. Go to Paintworks today. Martin Senor. See? Martin Senor. Right there. Martin Senor at the Paintworks. Bye, and we see you next time. I'm burning up.
You know what, guys? There's a lot of tree branches and dry brush over here. We should probably move the bonfire over there.
I'm guessing Smokey liked that idea.
Talking history about this and that. It's conversations with John and Pat. With John and Pat. With John and Pat.
Hello, everyone. I'm John Rickman. I'm Pat Welch, and we're here with Conversations of John and Pat, segment 38, John.
Ain't it great?
Oh, it's great. And it's been great. We've had a little bit of off time because of surgery. Downtime.
Had a little surgery.
John had a little shoulder surgery, and we're so pleased to be back together and with our many, many fans.
And my guitar playing never has been great, but it was worse during that time. So I decided to wait till this time. I'm going to do a little song, Pat.
This is going to be great.
This is about something, did a little prayer. Now I lay me down to sleep. Everyone's heard of that little prayer. Hopefully you were taught that by your parents when you were young. And I made a little song about it one time, and this mentions my mother. And as I sing this, I want you to know that I'm going to tell a little bit about my mother in a minute, because she's turned 100 years old.
A great centennial lady.
When I was a little boy, my mama told me, son, always say this little prayer when the day is done. I'd fold my hands and close my eyes and get down on my knees. Then I'd say that little prayer Mama taught to me. Now I lay me down to sleep, pray the Lord my soul to keep, guide me safely through the night, and wake me with the morning light. Sometimes I'd have a bad dream in the middle of the night, but then I'd say my little prayer and things would be all right. The Lord would come into my room and keep me company. When I'd say that little prayer Mama taught to me, that little prayer that Mama taught made my whole life a song. It opened up a world to God, made me secure and strong. Now I've got children of my own, and they've been taught life's key. I've taught them all that little prayer Mama taught to me. Now I lay me down to sleep, pray the Lord my soul to keep, guide me safely through the night, and wake me with the morning light.
John, that was fantastic.
Thank you.
Fantastic.
We've got one person that likes it because I heard them clap.
Do a little background clapping,
but
which was genuine.
My mother, Catherine Rickman, and Philip, can we show the pictures there? That was back in 1940, and my sister had just been born. That's my father on the left, and that was, you know, she was a pretty young lady. My daddy, a handsome young man back that time, and they were proud of my sister. I think after my sister and I was born, and then my brother was born, I think that was quite a disappointment to them, you know, that we didn't achieve some of the academic and social levels that my sister had. But it was...
Well, a lot of times... I'm the oldest child in my family. A lot of the younger ones wish they could have done as well as me too, John. I'm being very facetious there.
Well,
and you are too.
Yeah, my mother is a tough lady, and when we were youngsters, she made us toe the line. I would remember, you know, coming home from a football game late at night, or we played rock and roll music in high school. And believe me, we didn't stay up late when we were at home, but when we come in, drag in at those late hours, the next morning, we'd get up at 6 o'clock. You know, she'd let us sleep in. And she would say, hey, Mr. Harris wants you to help him strip tobacco today. Mama, I don't want to. I'm tired. I'm bruised up from whatever, you know. And she said, well, get up. And she didn't believe in laying around, and we didn't, you know. It was my father.
See, these are really interesting stories to me, John, because the time I've known her, she was just so gentle and so sweet.
Well, she's at Life Care, and she's one of the most gentle people you ever saw. She's got Alzheimer's, and she just loves everybody. But a lot of the people she knows and sits around, you know, she identifies them with people she's known in the past.
Yeah.
And she was born in 1917, and still living now in 2017, which is a long time.
I visited her at Life Care not too many months ago, and and I put my hand on her. She had her hands folded on her lap, and I put my hand on top of her hands, and she picked my hand up and kissed it, and it just really touched me.
Well, she's so sweet, and I remember as giving us a lot of tough love when we were young. I remember one time I got
well, she can handle that the sweet love now.
When I was 16, I just got my driver's license. I was over in Lewisburg, and I got a speeding ticket. Well, I was going to hide it from my parents, and especially my mother, because I knew she'd go wild about it, you know. They might let me not drive anymore, wouldn't let me drive anymore. So I got a guy to carry me over to Lewisburg, and he had enough money to pay my fine should I need to, to do that.
A little help.
So I had to go see Judge Patterson. I don't know how it's done now, but back then you go to see the judge. And Judge Patterson, he talked with me, said, how you doing? You play football over Chapel Hill, I understand, and everything. Yeah, you good-looking boy, and how's your grades and this and that. Your dad, he's doing all right too, I suppose. Yes, sir. And well, does he know about this ticket you got? I said, no, sir. He
would rather not know.
He said, well, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll tear this up if you tell him. Now, I'm going to ask him. I see him around Lewisburg because my father worked in Lewisburg. He said, and I'm going to ask him whether you told him or not. So I went home, and that later that afternoon when Daddy was there, he was down at the barn milking, and I walked in and I said, Daddy, I got a ticket. And Judge Patterson wanted me to tell you that I got one. First thing out of Daddy's mouth was, don't tell your mama.
Well, aren't you glad the judge just required one parent to be told?
Well, she was tough on us, and she was a good lady. And everybody needs one tough parent and one sort of forgiving parent in a relationship like that. And she was the tough.
Another thing, one of my best memories ever. I've told, I think this on the show before about her playing the piano, but yeah. We also went to a church, to the Methodist church with her, and I can't remember why we were over there on Sunday morning,
Well,
John.
you had Mark, he was from First Methodist Church here in
Tullahoma
Tullahoma that went to Chapel Hill, become senior pastor.
Right, and your mother she was in great shape then, but she was already sweet, and we were trying to figure out who was going to sit where, and to be honest, I was trying to see if I could sit by her and knock you out to make a good story. And she realized what was going on pretty quick, and there was another older lady with her, and she got right in both of our faces and said, boys, I want y'all to meet my pew buddy, which meant she's going to sit beside me and nobody else.
I've never heard of pew buddy before, but it came out of her mouth. That's original, and I think something ought to be done with pew buddy. I don't know where it goes from there, but that's a great.
It was a great line and another great memory of it.
But my mother, 100 years old, she had 5 siblings younger than herself, and she's outlived them all. So anyway, happy birthday to my mother. She won't see this or remember it if she saw it, but we still love her and glad we have her around.
She was a great lady and been a great influence on you, John, which makes her even greater.
Well, we're glad to talk about it, and we'll be seeing everybody next segment.
And that's be the conversations with John and Pat, and this was 38, and we certainly hope that management will let us go to 39. Thank you.
Talking history about this and that. It's conversations with John and Pat, with John and Pat, with John and Pat. Smoking tobacco accounts for 3 of every 10 fire deaths in the United States.
Tullahoma Fire Department needs you en route to a structure fire, 202 Main Street. Heavy smoke showing. Neighbors advise child trapped inside.
Lighters, matches, and associated smoking paraphernalia are the leading cause of preschooler fire deaths. We as firefighters know that most structure fires can be prevented.
I've got one.
Command, this is primary search. We have a victim. Need EMS to meet us at the front door.
Please help us to give you a fighting chance. This can be prevented. Contact the Tullahoma Fire Department for a free home safety inspection.
What's a Tennessee vacation? It starts off like any road trip, and then, boom, adventure and thrills everywhere you look, which happens to be some of the most beautiful scenery in the country. Music here, history there, and all kinds of green in between. Come relax and unwind, or bring the crowd for some stargazing, or stargazing. Whatever you do, come hungry and expect an awesome soundtrack. It's all right here in Tennessee. We're playing your song. For a free vacation guide, visit tnvacation.com.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network. All right, folks, we're back, and I'm very excited this morning to have two friends of mine on set with us. That's Bill and Sharon Baxter, and I met these wonderful people about, oh gosh, what's it been? About 10 years? How long have y'all?
A little over 12 years.
12 years you moved to Tullahoma, and they're just delightful people, and they're well-traveled and well-educated, and just fun to be around. And Sharon's brothers, Don and Dick Roberts, live in Tullahoma as well. Some of you folks probably have known the Roberts boys, and of course Dick was gone for quite some time in his military life, and so it's fun to have all of y'all here together.
It is. It's
and,
wonderful.
But these two right here are very talented individuals and have just ingrained themselves into our community so beautifully.
Boy, John, I'm going to have to pay you.
Well, let's see. Can I get my arm over this? But one of the things that you two do is you're involved with the Senior Citizen Center now.
Yes.
In doing some of their fine work down there. And several years ago on the stage at South Jackson for a Valentine's presentation, you read the two-person play Love Letters.
Indeed.
Give us a little background on how you found this and what caused the two of you, other than the love for each other, to get involved in this and to have this, put this presentation together, because it's absolutely beautiful.
Thank you. My goodness. Quite a few years ago, we used to do little, very short, humorous kinds of things. The Bickersons, we just love to do. And so we knew it was fun doing the couple of us. And so we looked around for other two-person plays that didn't require a lot of memorization.
As we got older.
Yes.
I understand.
And in 1988, A.R. Gurney, very well-known Broadway playwright, wrote Love Letters, and we discovered it about 1990 or in that time frame. And it just spoke to us so much, and we tried it out a few times. We lived in northern Ohio, and we must have given this show up there 12, 15 times, most often for fundraisers.
Right.
We found it just very fun to do and also make a contribution that way. So we performed it in quite a number of places up in northwest Ohio.
And so that's what you're going to do at the Senior Citizens?
Yes. We're doing it on February 12 and 19. And it fits very nicely, of course, with the Valentine's season.
Yes, it does.
Yes.
And what time will that be?
It'll be 2 o'clock Sunday. Those are Sundays, 2 o'clock Sunday afternoon.
Okay.
We've tailored it for people who don't like to be out late at night.
There you go.
And we think that time slot works well,
Okay.
and we're excited. Sharon is on the board at Seniors Center,
Okay.
and is aware of the constant need for fundraisers. And this was a chance to do a program where you don't have a lot of upfront money.
There you go.
This way, there's no cost to the center, and so everything is profit on this one.
Okay, so are you going to give us a little snippet of what's going to happen at the play?
Yeah.
Well, why don't you do that for us right now?
Okay. The play involves two characters, if you will. They meet in the second grade in grade school, and they maintain a close relationship even though they're not married, and they go off and do their own independent lives, but they keep this close relationship through letters and notes that they send back and forth to each other. And so the play follows then their life through these notes that they have written.
Well, and like most relationships, it's not all sweetness and light.
Yeah.
They have their problems.
This is a serious Broadway play.
Okay.
That's had a very good record on Broadway. It has been revived recently with people like Alan Alda and Candice Bergen being on stage and reading.
Okay, well, let's go.
Our little excerpt occurs in about the third grade. And so here's just a little snippet of what's going on. So I'm Andy, and she's Melissa. Note that we won't be just reading letters back and forth to each other, but the setup is that we're hearing these letters kind of out of the blue. And so it's careful that we don't just read back and forth that way. Will you be my Valentine?
Were you the one who sent me a Valentine saying, "Will you be my Valentine?"
Yes, I sent it.
Then I will be. Unless I have to kiss you.
When it's warmer out, can I come over and swim in your pool?
No, you can't. I have a new nurse named Miss Hawthorne who thinks you'll give me infantile paralysis.
Would you help me go down and get the milk and cookies during recess?
I will if you don't ask me to marry you again.
Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Love, Andy Ladd.
I made this card myself. It's not Santa Claus. It's a kangaroo jumping over a glass of orange juice. Do you like it? I like you, Melissa.
My mother says I have to apologize in writing. I apologize for sneaking into the girls' bathhouse where you were changing into your bathing suit. Now you tell Miss Hawthorne I apologize to her too.
Here's a picture I drew of you and me without our bathing suits on. Guess which one is you? Don't show this to anyone. I love you.
Well, here's a picture of Miss Hawthorne without her bathing suit on.
You can't draw very well, can you?
Thank you for sending me the cactus plant stuck in the little donkey. I've got lots of presents here in the hospital, and I have to write thank you notes for everyone. I hate it here. My throat is sore all the time from where they cut out my tonsils. They give me lots of ice cream, but they also take my temperature the wrong way.
Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Why did they send you to another school this year?
Merry Christmas. They think I should be with all boys.
You made me promise to send you a postcard. This is it.
You're supposed to write personal notes on the back of postcards. For example, here are some questions to help you think of things to say. Do you like Lake Saranac? Is it fun visiting your grandmother? Are your parents really getting divorced? Can you swim out into the deep part of the lake, or does Miss Hawthorne make you stay in the shallow part where it's all roped off? Is there anybody there my age? I mean, boys. Now, please write answers to all these questions.
No, no, yes. Yes, no.
Dear Melissa, remember me, Andy Ladd? They've sent me to camp where I can be with all boys again. It's quiet hour, so we have to ride home, but I've already done that, so I'm writing you. There's a real Indian here named Iron Crow who takes us on nature walks and teaches us 6 new plants a day. It's okay, except you forgot about poison ivy. I won the backstroke, which gives me 2.5 gold stars. If I get 50 gold stars by Parents' Day, then I get a leadership prize, which is what my father expects of me. I'm making a napkin ring in shop, which is worth 4 stars, which is either for my mother or for you. I hope you'll write me back, because when the mail comes every morning, they shout our names out, and it'd be neat to walk up and get a letter from a girl.
Help! Eek! Yipes! I can't write letters. It took me hours just to write, Dear Andy. I write my father because I miss him so much, but to write a boy? Hell's bells and oriental smells. I'm sending you this picture I drew of our cat instead. Don't you love his expression? It's not quite right, but I tried 3 times. I drew those jiggly lines around his tail because sometimes the tail acts like a completely separate person. I love that tail. There's part of me that feels like that tail. Oh, and here's some bad news. My mother's gotten married again to a man named Hooper McPhail. Help, let me out of here.
I like the cat. Is that the cat you threw in the pool that time when we were playing over at your house in 3rd grade?
No, that was a completely different cat altogether.
Very well done.
Okay.
Very well done. Thank
you.
you. Thank you. Thank you. And how delightful is that? Just very delightful.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. And so let's give them again when this is going to be.
Yes. It's 2 Sundays. Next Sunday, February 12, and following February 19 at 2 p.m. Senior Citizen Center on Collins. And the phone number is 455-2504.
Aren't you something? Aren't you something? Folks, go hear this and hear the complete presentation. It's absolutely delightful, and you will well spend the time that you take there to hear these 2 wonderful people share their talent with you.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Thank you,
very
John.
much, both
Thank
of
you.
you, for being here, and just keep doing what you're doing, because it's all good.
Well, thank you.
Thank you
All
very
good.
much.
Folks, we'll be right back after these messages.
It's time for every family and business in Tullahoma to go green and recycle. Tullahoma Public Works makes it simple and easy to recycle. Just place your recyclable materials, paper, plastic, aluminum, and cardboard beside your garbage container on the same day your garbage is picked up. Your recycled materials don't have to be in a fancy container. Recycling is not only the right thing to do, it makes sense. Recycling pays. Paying to bury our garbage costs each of us. Please do your part. Let's go green, Tullahoma, and recycle.
Hi, I'm Cindy.
And I'm Jacob. I'm the Rooster.
And I'm the Red Mane. And we would like to welcome you to
Roosterware.
Yes, Roosterware is a cottage industry producing accessories for men, women, children, babies, and pets. All items are hand cut and sewn locally. Roosterware specializes in bow ties, pocket squares, scarves, cufflinks, neckties, and aprons of all sizes for all ages. Baby products include onesies, diaper covers, bibs, and burp pads. All bow ties, tie it yourself or pre-tied, come with an adjustable neckband. All products can be made with a material of your choice, as special orders are available upon request. Don't be standing back looking at fashion. Create your own with Roosterware.
come visit us at
roosterandredmaiden.com.
to find our handcrafted designs for
The cock of the walk.
This is an American Red Cross blood donation alert. The Red Cross is experiencing a severe winter blood shortage. There is an emergency need for blood and platelet donors to give now and help save hospital patient lives. Donations are critically needed so that patients can continue to receive the life-saving treatments they need. Resolve to make a difference and help save lives by giving blood or platelets now. Use the Blood Donor app, visit redcrossblood.org, or call 1-800-RED-CROSS to make an appointment.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
Folks in TV land on this, I started to say beautiful, but this snowy Thursday morning, February the 7th. We're glad to see you here, and thank you TV ladies for putting a good, sharp, colorful picture on the screen, and thank you John for that introduction. You know, I mentioned last week that we were going to share a little bit of downtown history this morning. And it's one of the great institutions that everybody loved for many years. And that's a place called the Candy Kitchen at 121 North Atlantic Street. It's now occupied by the Tennessee Shoe Repair Company between Daddy Billy's and the Legal Service offices on North Atlantic Street. But the Candy Kitchen was a place that young and old would go and enjoy. It had the full fountain with Cokes and Pepsi Cokes and Cherry Cokes and all that good stuff that were of the old school, nickel and dime, and they just enjoyed them. The soda fountain, and they had the wire back chairs and the marble tables in there in the front part of the building that people would enjoy their sandwiches and their lunches and everything. And when not ping pong, but the machines, the pinball machines came, the Candy Kitchen got one of the first ones, and they had the magazine rack there that had all the current magazines that were real good. And now, the Candy Kitchen was called the Candy Kitchen because they made candy there. A fellow named Martin, that was superintendent of Avoca, I think was the earliest owner that I knew about, and they had a big kitchen in the very back part of the building. They made taffy, and they made peanut brittle and divinity and chocolate fudge. It was a sight, and you could smell the aroma back there. One of the real prime candy makers, as I recall, was a fellow named George Cooley, and he had a great big copper kettle in the back room back there in the kitchen, and he would empty those bags of sugar into the big copper kettle, and he had some kind of bottled gas heat for it, and it would melt that sugar, and that white syrup would be in there, and then he'd start putting the other ingredients in it, like for peanut brittle or taffy or whatever it was, and a great big marble top work table that he would pour that warm candy in it, and it would all be the same level. And when it cooled off, they would cut it up in squares and take it up to the showcases up front. But it was so fresh and so good, and wasn't expensive at all. And they would have specials, like today would be Taffy Day or or peanut brittle day, and it was really great. And the McManus family bought Candy Kitchen, I think, back in the late 20s, early 30s, and Lonnie McManus and had a couple of sisters, and the day they ran it, continued making candy there, and later Ms. R.T. Hill bought it and operated it for a while because she had her theater right next door there, the Strand Theater, and I think Clara O's folks owned the Candy Kitchen for a while. And later, I think the last owner as a restaurant was a fellow named Bob Good from Columbia, a Good's restaurant there that was operated during the latter part of Camp Forrest. But I will have to say this, those that operated and owned it catered to the teenagers, and they remodeled part of the kitchen and put 6 or 8 booths there, and they put a hardwood floor down. And the first Nickelodeon, to my knowledge, that came to Tullahoma was at the Candy Kitchen. And you could put a nickel in for a tune or a quarter in for 6 tunes, and we learned to do the swing and the Big Apple and do the two-step and the foxtrot at the dance floor at the old Candy Kitchen. It was so much fun, and that's where everybody gathered after a football game or after a pep rally. And if any of our parents knew we were going to the Candy Kitchen after school, that's fine. And it was really great. Never any alcoholic beverages or beer or anything like that was sold there, again, because they catered to the young people and teenagers. They had so much fun there. And sometime in the future, I've got a little film clip I'd like to share with you of the inside of the Candy Kitchen and the dance floor in the back, and everybody had so much fun there. And the food was real good that were made at the fountain, soda fountain, because they had fresh chicken salad and tuna salad, and no big heavy meals or country style food, but the typical sandwich and soda fountain type thing were so good. And boy, when they made a milkshake, it wasn't just one scoop of ice cream, it was 4 or 5 big scoops of ice cream at the Candy Kitchen. A real remarkable, memorable place there that everybody enjoyed and liked to go there after school and meet your friends there. And you know, if nobody knew even where the post office was, they sure didn't know where the Candy Kitchen was. And everybody had a good time there for many years. We're grateful to the people that operated it and had that service that was offered there. And we would like sometime to see another Candy Kitchen type operation here somewhere in Tullahoma. A lot of fond memories there at the Candy Kitchen in downtown Tullahoma. And this is not the end of the story, because there's a whole lot more to come. And we sure do thank you for watching, and everyone have a real good day.
Closer to a world with more birthdays. When we take cancer patients by the hand, we help them find answers and guidance and hope, and give them more candles to light. We're the American Cancer Society. Help create a world with more birthdays at morebirthdays.com.
Is this the year you want to get fit? If so, check out just some of the things Tullahoma Parks and Rec has to offer. Kickboxing, aerobics, silver sneakers workouts, swim lessons, boot camp, water aerobics, basketball, Zumba, yoga, pickleball, lap swimming, treadmill, karate, Get fit, Tullahoma, and have some fun with Tullahoma Parks and Rec.
When your family suffers the loss of a loved one, the caring and compassionate staff at Tullahoma Funeral Home and Coffee County Funeral Chapel are standing by to assist you in every way possible. We are proud to support local industry and offer only Batesville caskets. Many funeral homes don't own or operate a crematory. We utilize the only crematory in Coffee County. Your loved one never leaves Coffee County. We can accommodate any need and any budget. Consider our complete pre-need service to remove this burden from your family during their time of grief. Lock in today's low costs and protect from inflation. Tullahoma Funeral Home and Coffee County Funeral Chapel. Our family caring for your family.
Welcome back. I'm so glad I'm here with Sylvia Pinson today. Hi, Sylvia.
Hey, how are you?
You're back pushing something, I know.
I am pushing.
What's up?
When people see me coming, like, stand back. Here she comes.
Right.
Thank you.
What's the new event?
Well, the Fly Art Center is getting into their season of Triple C.
I love this idea.
This is chili, chicken, chocolate.
What could be better? Chili, chicken, and chocolate, all in one place.
It is a fundraiser for our little park in town that's on the square and the Fly Art Center.
That's
so
wonderful.
They're pulling together.
And this is taking place soon.
February the 18th at the Fly Art Center at 204 South Main, right behind.
And it starts at 11 and goes till 2.
2. And what it is, vendors we need, they can either enter in all 3 categories or they can pick a category.
And you can just be somebody off the street as long as you're willing to pay.
Correct.
$15 to do one.
To one, $10 additional. So $35 does it off.
And if you want to do chocolate, chicken, and chili, you pay $35, and you have to make enough for 100 people.
to 200 people to taste.
Right.
It is nothing but a taste, and the consumer or the people buying the $12 taster kit tastes and votes.
Okay, so like if you go to the chili table, there's going to be more than one chili person there?
Yes, you'll have
several chili people, and you get to try each one.
And then you vote.
And then you vote on that chili person, and they're going to win some kind of prize, which
Correct.
is a nice thing.
And we have 1, 2, 3 trophies for the winners.
First, second,
and then
third.
also their tabletops. This is a 8-foot table. The tabletops are judged how they created their
how
product.
They decorate.
And best dressed, yes. So it's a fun day. Get a taste of different people in Shelbyville that cook. And Tyson sponsors the chicken. So if they enter the chicken contest, they can come and receive their packs of chicken.
And they can get free chicken.
That's exactly
so let's
right.
give a shout out to Tyson Chicken.
Yes,
what a
and
gracious
Tyson's
gift.
a very, very good sponsor for our community.
Now this all happening in Shelbyville, Tennessee.
Yes.
So in case you're not sure where to go.
Right.
But the Fly Center is just off the square. And easy to find.
Easy to find, and
it's big.
It's
holds
big.
a lot of people.
It's big. It's like 1,300 and something on
so
the main
you're
level.
Spreading out all of your
correct
different vendors,
and
you're still looking for vendors.
Yes, we are, and the deadline on that is February the 12th, which is rolling pretty soon.
Sunday.
And then we will go in next Saturday.
So what do they do? Who do they call?
They can call 931-580-9696. You will get me. And then another one is Cliff at 931-607-8955. Or they can call the Fly Art Center in Shelbyville.
So if you don't get any of this down, you can go online and find the Fly Art Center. Find the
Fly Art Center.
Mm-hmm.
Applications is located right under the poster.
That's a beautiful poster, by
Thank
the way.
you.
Triple
Thank you.
C. That's
Triple
cool.
C.
We got hot chilies for chili, and we got a rooster crowing for chicken, and I love you chocolate.
Correct.
I mean, who doesn't
It's a
love
great
chocolate?
event.
Yeah.
It's a great way to come and taste.
Sure, and have
still
fun.
have fundraise. And like I said, it helps the Fly Art Center as well as maintain the small little park on the square.
It seems like you have good participation in Shelbyville for these kind of events.
We are. We're really
and of course, it's regional. You can come from
anybody
anywhere
can
to come and enjoy
Correct.
this.
And we are a destination.
Sure.
Shelbyville is a destination, and the Fly Art Center is too. And we just are pushing hard.
You have a really nice square.
Thank you.
I love the square.
It is.
I kind of wish we had one, but of course we have one. It's in Manchester.
Well, Shelbyville's considered the first square. I think that's
really?
the sale. Yeah.
From the beginning
From
of
the beginning.
squares being
Yes.
made. So it's something about being around a courthouse. I just think it's cool.
Well, growing up in Shelbyville, of course, living in the farm, I can remember going to the square and finding everything on the square.
Everything was on the square.
Everything.
You could get your shoes, you could get your clothes.
Oh, and the 5 and dime.
Oh, yeah, those are the good old days.
good ham sandwiches. And
Listen, Triple C is going to be fun in Shelbyville, and it's all you have to do if you want to enter the contest.
Correct.
Is to contact Sylvia, contact the center, and sign up for chicken from Tyson's.
Well, actually, they would sign up through their application,
and then
they will pick it up.
Okay.
We'll have a day for pickup.
And so all different types of chicken. It can be grilled. It
could be anything.
Fried. It can
correct. Correct. And they just make it in small little bite size for people to taste.
Yeah.
It's a great fun event.
Like fun. It really does.
It is.
And
we just do some
I'd be curious
unique
to know.
things.
You've done this before, haven't you?
Yes, this is our 4th annual.
Your 4th one.
Correct.
And have you found that each year it grows some?
Yes. And we want to continue because we have enough space in our big open space for about 40.
And you sort of do it about the same time every year?
It is.
I think that's
we
wise.
have found with events you stay within the
same time frame,
yes.
And you first year you may not make as much. Usually by the 3rd year you've got it locked in. People remember.
Correct. And it's fun, and it's a good way to taste good cooks.
Yeah. And
I'm not entering.
Oh, you're not entering?
I'm helping.
You're not a good cook?
Well, yes and no. I dabble.
And you get a bag when you go. When you pay you get your ticket, you get a bag.
$12.
And in the bag you have what?
A spoon, a cup for the chili. Then you have voting. And then you have a little small plate.
To put your chicken on.
Put your chicken or things of that nature.
And the chocolate goes fast, I'll bet.
Oh, yes, yes. And usually what you do, you choose your chili first and grate it.
And then,
Then you go back to your chicken and you grate it. Then you finish up with the chocolate.
And I'm going to assume you're selling drinks and
yes,
you're selling other things.
All the things that,
and
yes.
Is there any other kind of sales going on?
No,
just
this
strictly
is just
all about
the
chicken and chili
and chocolate. Correct.
So you don't need to come for anything else. Just communication. You can add a
communication.
You can add a fourth C.
That would be communication. But it's a cool idea.
It really is.
A lot of people do taste, like when I was in Jackson, they had the Taste of Jackson. Mm-hmm. And this is a good spin-off.
A spin-off on that same thing.
Weather protects us.
And that's nice because so many times at this time of year you just can't. Like today, it's warm. You may need an umbrella, but tomorrow it's February. It could be freezing cold. So
correct.
You can go in this nice warm place. And the date is February 18th.
Next Saturday.
And it's coming up pretty fast. So if you want to enter as one of the vendors, you need to do that right away.
And we would love to have anyone join us.
Bring your mama, bring your papa, bring everybody you know. All your neighbors, and be ready to sample chili chicken and chocolate.
I know. I have to put that in order. I get it all backwards.
Yeah.
So Triple C.
Triple C. I like it. Well, any last words?
Well, I'll be back next month because we'll have
doing something else.
Postcard and paper memorabilia.
Postcard and paper memorabilia. See, that's hard to say.
See, it is.
Memorabilia.
Show.
You guys are doing a lot of innovative things that are impressive.
When you keep innovation programs, it drives the community.
I think so.
That was my message when I was in Parks and Rec. Innovative programs drive people. People drive the revenues, and revenues drive the community. It's almost the four Ps.
I'm of course involved in the arts, and I appreciate so much what you do for the arts.
And we're coming on strong with some new ideas for the arts. So
Sure you don't want to move over here?
No, I guess I better stay put. I think the Bedford County Art Council might get a little upset if I jump ship.
I feel like with that we have told it all, and so go out and get your ticket or become a vendor, and be sure and show up on the 18th between 11 and 2.
Correct.
And stuff yourself. Thanks, Sylvia.
Thank you.
We love
Thank
it when
you.
you come by.
Thank
You're
you.
always so full of great ideas.
Thank you.
We'll be back.
So you've been meaning to do something healthy, commune with nature, get outdoors and meet new people. We have the perfect solution. Come hike with us. You can find a Tennessee Trails Association chapter near you, including Clarksville, Columbia Franklin, Highland Rim, Jackson, Knoxville, Oak Ridge, Memphis, Murfreesboro, Nashville, Plateau at Crossville, and Upper Cumberland. We're on the web at TennesseeTrails.org. It's fun, it's stress-free, and it's good for you. See you on the trails.
Tired of paying for monthly telephone service, expensive long-distance bills, and all those crazy taxes? Are you sick of spending money on telephone equipment, maintenance contracts, and service calls, all for a phone system that shackles you to 100-year-old technology and your desk? Stop it. It's time to ship your phone system to the cloud. What can the cloud do for you? Bring together remote offices, workers, and employees in the field. Make sure that you'll never miss calls by delivering them to multiple devices. Modernize faxing by allowing multiple faxes to be sent and received at once and delivered to email. Get your voicemail messages instantly through email too. And take advantage of an endless supply of customizable features. Host My Calls can deliver the cloud. All of this technology with low upfront costs and not one penny in capital expense. It's time for a phone solution you'll truly love from Host My Calls. Call the number below.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network. All right, Peggy, we're back. And,
we're back. We're getting close to the end.
Getting close to the end.
That's Sylvia. Is she not full of ideas?
Oh, she's ready to go now. I mean, she's ready to go, and she and her sister Grace, I've known Gracie for years and years and years. She's just like her. They're a bunch of fun. I bet being in that household would have been a big time.
And she's off to see the Vols play basketball, I believe she said.
Off to see the Wizard.
Well, if you're needing a ticket for a wonderful dinner and dance, or just sit and listen to some good music, Bell Buckle Banquet Hall, which is a beautiful place. Have you been there lately?
It's been a month or so since I've been in there.
I guess you've been there since they've extended the space. It's a beautiful place.
Oh, it is. It is.
Food is awesome, and our band, South Jackson Street Band, will be there doing music on the 11th.
So this is
That's
this is their
Saturday night.
Valentine's
This is their
banquet
Valentine's
and dance.
dinner dance, and
That's great.
I should be able to rattle off the phone number, but you can go on,
everybody knows where
Facebook
it's famous Bell Buckle Cafe and the banquet hall.
And the banquet hall, yeah.
And Southern Charm, where Tori Taft has a tea room over there that you can have tea and
so
scones
cute,
and all of that in the afternoon.
And you can do a little
who
shopping.
She is, don't you? She's Russ Taft's wife.
Yeah.
Russ lives there, and he's a famous gospel and Dove Award singer and Grammy winner. And
I know, it's a neat place to go. There's a lot to do.
Enchanted little village of Bell Buckle.
Yeah, and they've kept it that way. I like that. Have you written something?
I'm going to read a couple of thoughts here.
Okay.
We have a little time to kill. Relationships. Life is arranged around relationships. Without them, one would be lost. Every thought we have involves a relationship with something. Friends, a love, family, enemies, acquaintances, a car, a pet, a tree, the world, your faith. How lonely would it be without them? Lonely enough not to exist. Thank God for relationships.
That's good. I have a cat.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think to myself, would I miss that cat? Well, yeah, I would. But this is when I think I would not miss the cat. Often at about 5 o'clock in the morning, my cat comes walking up the bed right to my face and then stares into my face until I wake up. But
You don't like that?
I do love that cat.
Yeah. The question is posed, and this is at the Not Yet Dead Poet Society. Every now and then we have a writing exercise. And the question was, if the past is a foreign country.
If the past
is past tense, like the present, the past. If the past is a foreign country.
Okay.
If the past is a foreign country, how many passports must I have? How many sovereign states have I lived and loved in, then left? What language will my name be pronounced in tomorrow? As I search for another location, fly me to the moon. In this world, I'm trapped by my past. More space is needed to meet the tomorrows where I continue to grow unbridled.
Interesting. I may have to hear that again. That's good.
By the book.
There's by the book. Okay.
Coffee spoons. I've measured my life in coffee spoons and morning pots brewing day after day until the years of sugared sweetness have caused my feet to swell and tingle in a most uncomfortable way. Though shoes and belt are both too tight and pose impending doom, I couldn't bear to start the day without the smell of coffee in the room.
Oh, me either. I like that.
And let's see if we have time for one more, if I can get them unstuck here. I think I've done that one before.
I have often thought about coffee. What would I do if I was suddenly told I could not ever have another cup of coffee?
How do you think outside the box?
Very curious.
Don't depend on another's definition of it. Build a box of your own.
Good. I can understand
so that's our thought for today, folks.
Build a box of your own.
That's right. That's right.
That's good.
Oh, and don't forget Darius Wallace at South Jackson reading the poetry of Langston Hughes, and that is that's in March.
March 9th.
March 9th. Be sure to be there if you are a writer, if you are a poet,
or if you just appreciate wonderful work.
Wonderful work.
He's sensational.
Darius Wallace, The Poetry of Langston Hughes, South Jackson Civic Center, March the 9th. Be there, be square.
And enjoy.
Thanks, folks. We'll see you next time.